Welcome back to PR After Hours. I'm your host, Alex Greenwood, bringing you your weekly cocktail of PR and marketing tips that will help you and your business. Stick around, we'll get started right after these messages. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. But have you been there, done that, and got the t-shirt? Now's your chance. If you are a big fan of the Virtual Lounge right here at PR After Hours, why don't you tell the world and take our spiffy logo and plaster it across your chest for the whole world to see? Well, for the whole world to see on Zoom or whenever you do finally get out of your house. The PR After Hours tee shows that you're an exclusive member of the Virtual Lounge. It's a cool, comfortable, ring-spun, soft cotton tee. We look for the best possible options we could go for in these t-shirts, and it's in a variety of colors. You can get them in dark heather gray, royal blue, storm, maroon, or good old-fashioned white. These are really comfortable shirts. We offer a premium unisex tee from extra small all the way to 4XL, and a women's slim fit tee, which goes from small to 2XL. They are a hoot, they look cool, and besides, they'll do what we love to do most here at PR After Hours, start a conversation. The PR After Hours t-shirt is available now on Bonfire. The link is in the show notes, and I hope you'll look into getting one. I not only think they look cool and be great conversation starters, but they'll help us keep the Virtual Lounge doors open. Thanks so much. Hello, listeners. It's me, Alex, from PR After Hours. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. And I wanted to talk to you just for a moment about the way I get this show right into your earbuds every week. It's because I use Anchor FM. Now, I've told you previously that I've been podcasting since 2006, back when we used stone knives and bear skins and a couple of Dixie cups and string. Anchor FM has really streamlined this and made it simpler for people who don't know the first thing about setting up a podcast or don't have, time to learn all the pro tools and stuff, because it's all right here. First thing it's important to know is it's free. There are certain tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. That's huge. Distribution is a big pain in the butt, to be honest with you, so it's really great Anchor FM can do that for you, and you're not paying hosting fees. That adds up every month. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. And be sure to join me in the Virtual Cocktail Lounge on PR After Hours. I think a lot of people don't fully understand that public relations, probably the core of why it is so important over advertising and marketing, or at least why it should be the third pillar or the third leg of the stool, however you want to do it, is because it's technically a form of third-party endorsement. Now, that means that a third-party endorsement basically is like the unsolicited or solicited recommendation or testimonial from an entity other than the manufacturer and seller of a product or service, right? Therefore, if you're in the newspaper or you're on the radio, or on TV or online being talked about, particularly in a positive way, it's a third-party endorsement. And that's great because people believe someone who already has an established credibility, right? And even though the media has been the whipping boy for the past few years, by certain elements of our society, they are still viewed generally as a positive when they talk about good things. People trust, I would say, a national media outlet like CNN, or some people trust Fox News, or some of these others way over, some other online outfit or somebody else, right? Or somebody just pontificating on social media. Even me, as your friendly neighborhood PR guy, I can say it all day long, but people know, hey, he's a PR guy. But what I do is help get the third-party credibility going. Because people don't want to be sold to either. That's one reason why on this show, I'm telling it like it is. When I tell you this is a place for tips and sharing information, how often can you say I try to sell to you? Okay. I'll admit the TV, The t-shirt spots that I've been running lately, I'm trying to sell to you a little bit. And by the way, I have mugs now too. I'll put a link in the show note. But I'm not generally like saying, buy from me, get your planning services from me, you get your PR consulting services from me. I mean, that's apparent and that's obvious, but I'm not here to sell to you because people don't want to be sold to. I tell people this all the time, about social media. Don't constantly be saying me, and buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. It's like the old cocktail party analogy I like to use. Have you ever been stuck at a party and you're in a corner with some guy who just will not stop talking about himself? What are you doing? You're not listening to him anymore. You're basically peeking over his shoulder trying to find someone to rescue you. So that's another reason. Third, the public tends to believe what a VIP, celebrity, or news influencer says. I mean, I can argue a little bit about influencers on social media and stuff like that, I think, and celebrities to this point. People do start to tune them out, but they do have some currency. So what am I getting at? Well, this is what I'm getting at. I'm getting at a burger and fries. Oh man, I could use a burger and fries right now. My waistline cannot use a burger and fries, but I certainly can use one. And one of my favorites, believe it or not, every now and then is Five Guys. Now, there's a great article about Five Guys, not just about how great their burgers are. That's some more third-party credibility there, huh? It's about what they can teach you about promoting press coverage. This is an article in the PR News by Brandon Watts. There'll be a link in the show notes. And he leads in with this. If you're a fan of burgers and fries, there's a good chance that you've been to a Five Guys. When you walk through the door, what's one of the first things you notice right after the smell and sizzle of meat on the grill? Once your eyes scan the walls, you're barraged with press coverage and quotes that sing the praises of Five Guys. It's like a PR coverage report was brought to life in a space that also happens to serve burgers. I mean, if you've been into Five Guys, it's wall to wall. It's clippings from newspapers and online and stuff like that all over America. And it's all positive, glowing stuff. So what can you learn from that? Well, as he says here in the article, it seems obvious, but it's surprising how many companies inadvertently bury their press coverage. You work so hard to get it, and I work so hard to get it for you. Why not make sure people see it? There's more to it than simply sharing coverage on social, right? Press hits should be included on every available communication channel that makes sense. He goes on to say, does your website prominently feature press coverage? Mentioning outlets that have coverage is a good start, like the logos. You see that a lot. As seen on MSNBC, as seen on Fox News. You see that a lot. That's a good start, he says, but providing quotes and links to the coverage is even better. Do you include press coverage in sales presentations, advertising campaigns, and other offline opportunities? He says, Five Guys could stop at touting press coverage all over its website and social media. Instead, it's gone to the next level, making it the decoration and its most valuable communication channel, its restaurants. If I had a restaurant and I had like those laminated menus, I'd have some press clippings ghosted in there somewhere where you could see them. Maybe not prominent like that, but it maybe like behind the actual menu items, you could see clippings and headlines and online stuff that you screenshot. That's a way to do it. Or plaster it on the walls, or even put in the bathrooms over the urinals or in the stalls. I mean, people have to read something while they're taking care of that business. But I tell this to my clients all the time. In fact, I just had a situation where a local TV station wants to interview a client, and the client was wants to do it, but is nervous a little bit and says, but I don't know if somebody only sees it this one time when it airs and it's only a few thousand people. And I'm saying, remember, they post their interviews on their website. Those are there for not forever, but for a very long time. That can do a lot for you. You can boost your SEO. You can point your social media at it. Sometimes if it's put on a YouTube channel, you can download it and embed it in your website. There's just so many ways you can do this. But the thing is, don't just fire and forget. Don't, do that TV hit or do that radio hit or get that article posted and share it on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn maybe for a day or two and then forget about it. Put it in your online newsroom. Create one on your website and then make sure that you're sharing it repeatedly. And as long as it's fairly newsworthy, if it's about a product or service you've discontinued a year ago, obviously you don't keep hitting it that as much. Though even that says something about your brand, though, that you have some quality stuff that maybe you've moved on to something new. Anyway, don't want to beat a dead horse. And now I'm really hungry. I want a burger. So just remember the Five Guys rule there of don't forget about and don't let your customers forget about the third-party credibility you have earned.
Oh,
you know what that means. Looks like it's last call here at your virtual lounge for PR news, views, and interviews. Don't forget, you can ask me a question anytime. You can do it through our Twitter account, which is @HoursPR, or even better, you can send me a message vocally. I would love to hear your voice, and I'll answer it on the show. There's a link in the show notes. All you have to do is sign up through Anchor FM. It's free, doesn't take long, and you record your message. I get the message. I will play your audio. Just give me your first name and the city you live in, and then I will answer the question to the best of my ability right here on the show. Don't forget to, if you're enjoying this podcast, you can support it and help increase the frequency and value of the show. Just consider being a sponsor for your brand or your agency or just yourself because you're like, I like this show. Or just drop a few coins in the virtual tip jar. Either way, there's links in the show notes. Please check that out. All of that, of course, being in the show notes where you're listening right now or at prafterhours.com. I see that they're turning up the lights. Last call is over, and I've got to clean up this virtual lounge. And until next time, I'm Alex Greenwood, and you've been listening to PR After Hours on Anchor FM.